Hey, middle-aged gamers, welcome back. We have some more stories today, though the guys have said it's a bit of a stretch. I think there's lots going on. We'll see about that. And we have to start with Adam's first story today about the Elder Scrolls 6 and things that have happened there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that there's not a lot going on. I would say that there's not a lot of going on that's a huge thing to talk about. So yeah, we got some information on the Elder Scrolls 6, maybe, allegedly. It comes from a leak, and it's great timing because this is 7 years after the last time we saw anything released by Bethesda, which was 7 years after Skyrim. So this is the anniversary of the Nothing Burger. And that we're having double the time here. So supposedly it is going to be the Elder Scrolls 6 Hammerfall. That's the title that the leak said anyway, which would make sense because the last one was Elder Scrolls Skyrim. However, the ones before that, well, no, we did have Daggerfall, but then before that it was Oblivion. So I guess they all are locations because Oblivion is technically in a location. So yes, Hammerfall would make sense. Never mind. Now this may, though, however, include portions of High Rock. Previously, a lot of people were suspecting that the next game may take place in High Rock, but it looks like it might not. It might actually be Hammerfall, but include parts of High Rock, and they do border each other. So that would be quite an extensive map, which is very exciting because a lot of people would like that, including myself. And the leaks suggest that there may be a showcase of the Elder Scrolls 6 in July this year. So don't hold your breath, but who knows? Maybe we'll actually finally be getting something. And maybe they're kind of close to release. Was yeah, equal distance to the time that we saw the clip from Skyrim. So it's been quite a long time, and it looks like there's still some time to go. And then recently on other Bethesda news, they basically came out and said, yeah, don't expect the next Fallout game for a very, very long time. So it looks like these games are going to be generational, not, multiple within a generation. But we did get a few other things in the leak. One thing they suggested was that this game is going to have over a dozen large cities. So they were saying that the cities would be larger than Solitude. Solitude, I believe, was the Imperial stronghold in Skyrim, correct? Yeah. So if you remember that city, it was up north. It was one of the larger ones. It says that we're getting at least a dozen cities that are going to be of that size, maybe larger. So that looks like they're going to be, building a much, much more metropolitan type thing. Or, there's going to be a lot more. One of the things I think people didn't really, or one of the complaints with Skyrim was that it didn't really feel like you were fighting in a country. It kind of felt like you were fighting in the countryside with little villages here or there. They didn't feel like fully fledged cities. So I think they've kind of taken that to heart. They're going to be building much bigger cities. Also, supposedly dragons are going to be returning, which is cool because, that was obviously a big part of Skyrim. But the leak also said that the dragons are going to be more involved in the story directly this time, which the story of Skyrim was about dragons. So a lot of people are kind of like, this is kind of makes this rumor a little bit harder to trust when you say the dragons are going to be more involved, but who knows? It might just be that, the dragons are taking a more direct approach to the story in the sense that they're going to be more dragon NPCs. You're going to be, having to meet with them more often. They're going to have more speaking roles, that sort of thing. So I suppose in that sense, you could be interacting with the dragons more than just, fighting them on occasion and just having, what was it, Parthenax? Was that the one that you talk to directly in the game? So we'll see there. And then the other big leak was that actually the next Skyrim is going to be involving naval battles. So basically it looks like they're taking a note from Starfield with the spaceship building, and they're taking that shipbuilding and turning it into, water ship building. So it looks like you're gonna be able to customize your ships. And if you look, there's a big bay between High Rock and Hammerfall, or Hammerfell. So it would make sense that you would be able to, traverse this bay and whatnot. Some people are reacting differently to it than others. Some people are really, really excited about it. I think it's really cool. I always like that sort of, stuff, the customization, the piecing things together in the building. I enjoyed Windbound and games like that. Other people are kind of like, why are you including this again? It's just going to bog down the game. They hyped it up so much in Starfield, and then you know, you could fly around in space a bit, but you couldn't really explore planets with them. And yeah, it was kind of like it was basically base building in a sense, because, you know, it was mostly the interior of the ship that really that really made an impact. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited. I think it's exciting. I always like that, but I personally like those sort of things. You've seen the games I play. I like base building. I like putting stuff together. So, you know, for me, that's exciting. But I see a lot of people online that are not excited about that. But yeah, other than that, we're still in the dark as to a lot of what's going to be going on. We don't know what the major conflict is going to be. We're not even 100% sure it's going to be in Hammerfell or High Rock. So we're going to have to wait and see. But hopefully, at least the part of the leak that said that we're getting a showcase in July is true. Because if it is, that would be a huge deal. So I am really looking forward to that if we get it. But what do you guys think? You know, are you excited for Elder Scrolls 6? You know, what are you looking forward to? What are you hoping comes back? What are you hoping changes? I don't know. What about, I mean, you two guys here.
Well, that's a wide topic. I loved Oblivion. I loved Skyrim, and I have been for years extremely excited about Elder Scrolls 6. And then Starfield came out, and then I was thinking, do I want an ES6 and that state? I'm not sure. I know that Elder Scrolls Online is doing great, and I never played it, unfortunately. I should have, but so you know, I'm not sure about these dragon things because honestly, well, I haven't played Skyrim in years. Okay, so I might forget some stuff, of course, but I recall that the big bad dragon, can't remember his name, Anduin or something like this, was actually reviving dragons which were dead a long time ago. So for me, dragons were mostly gone, apart from the 2 or 3 that you missed out somewhere. So if they want to make a big story about dragons, okay. I saw they were gone, so okay. I just want a better gameplay. Definitely a better gameplay. Skyrim was grand. A better combat system would be great. I wouldn't mind another horse which climb 90-degree slopes. That'd be great. I really love that. Really makes your life easier. I don't necessarily. Well, bigger city must be fun. I can't remember the actual, you know, like a rebel city. Was it Wind something?
Windhelm?
Windhelm, yes, thank you. With the slums and all, it was actually a quite sizable city. So, you know, this size is good enough for me at least. Yeah, no, I'm very excited, especially if it's Hammerfell. You know, you have all the Alikir, right? These people of the desert, kind of. There must be a lot of lore over there to explore. That's one of the first missions in Skyrim. If you want to actually, Hammerfell is just south of Skyrim. West of Cyrodiil. So it's just before you play Oblivion and Skyrim. That's literally just their neighbor. Yeah, so just for me, same game, better gameplay, and involve as usual the modding community, because the modding community is what make, you know, salt and butter in this game. I saw the last like a visual overhaul of Skyrim. Oh Jesus, it looks so good. Even in 2025, a game from 2011. So I understand why they don't want to make an Elder 6 right away, because they still sell Skyrim quite well. Online is doing great. They might need to do a Fallout before before ES6. I don't know. What do you think? Like in the order of IP they should release.
I mean, obviously, obviously ES6 is coming out first. Yeah.
Well, obviously, I think that's just a rumor, right?
Well, they've been working on it for a long time. We haven't heard anything on Fallout. I would not expect a Fallout to, you know, leapfrog an Elder Scrolls 6 release. But I do have, my one concern is that they are taking so long to release between games that I worry you're going to lose a lot of momentum, because part of it, you know, like when Oblivion came out, and then a lot of people that played Oblivion are, you know, when what was it called out when Skyrim came out. They're super excited. They're like, oh my god, it's another Elder Scrolls game, right? And obviously those people are still around, and there's a lot of us, but you know, there's going to be a lot of younger people that, you know, were 11, or, you know, a lot of younger people that didn't play Skyrim because, you know, they either weren't born yet, or you know, they were so young that they just didn't play it, and they're in their 20s and they're gonna, and, you know, and they're coming out and they're like, why should I care, you know? And I just yeah, so basically you have people, the people that are caring are people in their 30s and 40s, which there's plenty of us, there's a lot of us, but, you know, I do worry that it's not going to have the same cultural impact that it would have if it had been in the conversation the whole time, rather than people, you know, the older people are talking about it, and younger people are kind of like, yeah, old man, sure, this game that I've never played was fantastic if you say so. So I do concern a little bit about that.
But studio-wise, even though they have been working on it for quite a while, it must have been with a very limited team, because really Starfield was the new IP where they put really all of their resources on. And after that, you know, like fixing the game and adding a DLC, which was released last year, if I'm correct, right? Was it last year?
Yeah, it should
The
have been last year.
Starfield DLC? And I think they want to make another Starfield DLC. To check. But you know, like I just mean that what's the size of the because yes, we worked 8 years on Skyrim, on Elder Scrolls 6. I mean, these two guys over there in the corner. Of course, it's not gonna go very fast, very far, right? So yeah, I'd be interested to know, you know, how they divide their team over there. That'd be interesting as a topic.
All right, moving on. Antoine, tell us about Wukong and possible DLC or confirmed DLC.
Sure, but we just talked about Elder Scrolls 6. Are you sure you don't want to
I'm sure.
go
We'll
with
take a
your
break.
story?
Yes, because I'm worried we might dive too deep in Elder Scrolls and suck out the remaining 30 minutes.
That's fine.
That's
Okay,
not fine. We need a certain number of videos recorded today.
sure. I'm gonna take 8 minutes on the dot, maybe less than that. So, hello gamers, and today I want to talk about the massive bangers that was Wukong last year. Definitely the best game of the year. Thank you, Steam Award. Actually, you agree with me. That's great. And you know, they got lots of awards. Definitely one of the best game. Just to give you some numbers, right? It has sold over 25 million copies globally, including 7.5 million in China, which is sold outside of China. So most of them in China, but that's logical because having played the game, it's an excellent game. But if you know all the lore, you know the story behind the game, it's twice as good, honestly. And if you never read Journey to the West, it's not video game related, but I'm just still gonna say it's very easy to find on Amazon or something, and it's very, very good read. Just saying that aside. And it sold 5 million copies on PS5 alone. On that front, actually, sold in the first month of the game, and it has
Losing Antoine.
many awards. Yeah. Good.
Now I can't hear Korean either. Uh-oh.
What? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm pausing my my story. Korean, can you hear me? Can I continue or not? You're mute.
Yeah, now Korean's muted.
You're mute.
So
Yeah,
no,
Korean's
no,
muted.
Antoine, yeah. You can keep going. Just remember, you recorded locally, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if we
I'm just
can't hear
telling
you, as
anybody
long
who's
as I get
watching.
it. Yeah, just anybody who's watching it live can't hear you.
But they'll see it in the later recording.
What?
Yeah. Because your internet was frozen for like 45 seconds or 30 to 45 seconds.
Should I restart?
No,
Continue.
keep going.
We can spice it together.
It doesn't matter.
No,
fair
yeah,
enough.
I'll just
So-
cut off this portion like I've done before.
All right, so minding little technical difficulties, coming back on Wukong, I have two news for you, two good news actually. So just to clarify, Wukong was not a PS5 exclusive, and that was said so before. So you were asking why there's no Xbox release. It will happen in 2025. We don't know the exact date yet, but they want to do it. The only issue is that the guys at can't remember the name of the studio, but Game
Science, yeah.
Science, I think. Game Science. They were saying we have technical difficulty. Simply porting to the Xbox, especially the S and the X, is just not playable. Not in a playable state. You know, the FPS were completely down, just not in a playable state, and they got some Microsoft advisors to help them with the release. They really labored for months, and now they're saying we cannot get it working, so we're gonna release it later this year. So if you're on Xbox, don't depress, you will be able to play this game, and I just can't stress enough how much you need to play Wukong, because it is an excellent game. And second great news, there has been rumors floating around for DLCs. And of course, right, this game made millions. Game Science really hit the jackpot with this game. Why not keep going and make money out of it, right? So they didn't announce, but there's rumors, which what is? Hello. There will be 2 DLCs. So we have names, but we have names about Black Meat Zhangzia and Black Meat Zhonghui. Sorry for my Chinese. Only thing that we are not sure if it's the name of the coming DLC or the name of games coming after Black Myth Wukong, because Zhangzia would be connected to the story of Journey to the West. Zhonghui, kind of not at all, right? He's the king of the ghosts, who capture and control demons, and he's just not in Journey to the West. So at this stage, we can't say if these 2 names will be the name of the DLC, but that's fine. That's not really the point. Remember, in Wukong, you had 6 chapters. Each of the DLC will be 3 chapters each, and they confirmed that it will be the size of chapter 2, 3, and 5. 5 was pretty short, and 4 was massively long, but that's easily half, the original game. So that's massive DLCs, right? Lots of content. And in this content, there will be some, if you read Journey to the West, apparently there's 3 bosses which are very well known. There would be, so of course there's a recurring boss which are dragons, long in the base game. So in this game you're gonna get another long, but not anyone, which is a white long. In Journey to the West you follow not and Wukong, but actually his master, which is the priest. You see him in a couple of cinematics in the game, which is the tongue priest. And the tongue priest ride on a horse, and the horse is actually a dragon that Wukong beat up, and he kind of shape-shift into a horse to carry the monk during the journey. So this dragon will be one of the boss. Second boss would be the 3rd disciple, because the tongue monk had 3 disciples: Wukong, 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙦, so the pig that helps you in the original game, and the Sand Demon. Sand Demon, which his name is Sha Wujing, which was missing from the original game. I was wondering why, and apparently that's because he was supposed to appear in the DLC. So same as 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙦, for me, he would be helping you. Maybe you will fight him as a boss like you fight 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙦. They'll find some story trick to make you fight him. But for me, the same as 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙦, you should fight him and then have him as a helper, because the 3 of them were, the monk's disciple, very good friends. They went through all the trial and tribulation of the Journey to the West. So very good character to bring out. And certainly the big guy would be 𝙎𝙎, which, if you're in China right now, everybody is super excited about the movie, 𝙎𝙎 2. You see him in couple of cinematics in the original Wukong, when Wukong and the Bull King attack the Heavenly Army. The skinny boy with the wheels of fire under him, that's 𝙎𝙎, that's him. And you will have him very likely as the big boss like Erlang was in the original game. So it's going to be interesting, because he's going to be massively powerful and a pain in the butt to beat. definitely. And that's the 3 bosses which were leaked for now. So keep in mind that nothing is confirmed, but from what we saw, that was a cousin of a guy who worked at Game Science, who went to eat with, not actually, he's a contractor working with Game Science. Anyway, basically, long story short, so a guy know a guy know a guy. So nothing's confirmed, nothing's official. It was supposed to be teased on Chinese New Year, so a couple of weeks ago, maybe a bit more. So my wife is Chinese. I didn't watch the show because it's an all-day show and everything. I don't know if it was really teased or not. I saw somewhere there was some kind of car going, and on the plate of the car, it showed the supposed release of the first DLC, which should be at the end of August 20th. I think last week we talked about a big game coming out on August 25th. Can't remember which one it was.
Oh.
GTA 6? No. Anyway. Nah, that's fine. We talked about it last week, but my memory is crap. Anyway, August 20th should again, nothing confirmed, but the date of release for Wukong first DLC. So I really can't wait because I really, really, really love this game, and it's gonna be extremely fun. So you should have about 40 extra boss, because all the spirits that you collect, these mini bosses in between bosses. I think you had 54 or 55 in the original game. The original intent was to get 108 bosses, because like Chinese 108. If you play Suikoden or something, they have something about 108 stars. And in this case, spirit. So the remaining of the spirits you didn't get should appear. So as something like 42 or 44, something like this, spirits, which gonna be divided between the 2 DLC. So lots of content. It's gonna be a banger. I'm sure it's gonna be great. And yeah, so some people were starting to compare this to the 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙦, for from Software. Come on, Elden Ring. See, now we keep having these massive banger DLCs. Liberty City, 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙦. Now you're gonna have this Black Myth Wukong DLC. No, DLCs are as good as the games themselves. Keep going. That's really a good direction to go. And yeah, that's it. I guess you guys didn't play Wukong, even though you're in Taiwan, so you should know the Journey to the West better than me.
Know a bit of it.
But yeah. And one of the things I wanted to say is that we're gonna have 2 DLCs confirmed, but just lore-wise, video game-wise, Journey to the West is one of the best IP you could use for video games, because the Journey to the West is a story of the monk going from not China, but like a country around, going to India to gather the scripture, because there's a lack of faith, and the king orders the priest to gather the scripture and come back. And along the way, he has 81 trial. It's 81 tribulations, because 81 is a Buddhist number for, can't remember what. That means you have 81 adventures. You can make a crazy amount of games like this. And on this 81 adventure, you only see, technically 5 or 6, in the first game, like the Bull King or things like this. That's all, from this. So it's really a very easy way to make games based on this story. And I'm very happy they do. And that's it. Any comments?
I haven't played it, so.
Well, I remember I bought it, right? I was gonna play it for the channel, and then I played like an hour. I'm like, nope, not for me. And that was the first and last ever this kind of game I will play. And then I tried Kino Bridge of Spirits, which is another mistake. So I'm like, oh my god, this is beautiful. This will be easier. Nope. Even though once I turned down the difficulty, it was
Oh,
okay.
but it's great.
It is, but I'm like,
great
after I
kid
turned down
game.
the difficulty, I felt terrible, like emotionally. I'm like, oh my god, you suck, or you can't do this game. I'm like, yep, I can't, not anymore. So no, I think it's wonderful. I think people who like to play like Elden Ring and Black Myth Wukong have at it, but not for me.
Yep, that's not as hard. And plus, for all the hard boss, I got my son to beat them for me. So, and I don't feel bad, right? I'm pretty happy with it.
That's good that you don't feel bad. I felt bad. Like after I turned down the difficulty, I was kept on dying on this boss in Kina. I'm like, then I defeated the boss. I'm like, this doesn't feel good. And then I just deleted the game after that.
So that's it. To be honest, the first chapter boss are horrible, and once you kill the two middle boss, which give you your first spirit and your first transformation, then it gets much easier. And the further you get, the more powers you get, the easier you get. So it's really the beginning of the game is much harder than the rest, apart from the last boss and Erlang, two bastards. But still, first chapter is the hardest. You pass the first chapter, the rest is a breeze.
No, I mean that's why I always like if you go back and watch episodes, you always see me complaining about games like Elden Ring, like or Sekiro or Bloodborne, or there's so many games like even Armored Core. I heard is crazy hard. Adam can talk more about that.
Certain parts, but you can build around it, negate a lot of the problems.
No words, my friends. Okay. I'm gonna move on to my story, which is Skyblivion, because you guys have been searching for Oblivion-related things, and all of us have played the game. I don't remember if I finished it. I'm pretty sure I did, because I played Daggerfall. Daggerfall was before Oblivion, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Way back when, like Antoine is doing. Oh.
I think 2. 3 was Morrowind, I think 2 was Daggerfall.
Oh yes, Daggerfall. So what was the order? Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, right?
Well, the original and then Daggerfall.
Elder Scrolls 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
Can't
the
remember the
original
name of
called?
the original though.
Remember, there's also was it Elder Scrolls Arena? I don't know where that fits in.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll
Might be
come
the
back
first
to-
one. I will check what
Arena's not the first one. I don't think. I think the first one was just the Elder Scrolls. I don't know.
We can talk about it afterwards. All right. After 11 years of development, the ambitious mod, right? And you probably would have seen this online. Skyblivion is coming this year, which I guess maybe you guys are searching for it because we still have to wait for the Elder Scrolls 6, even if we do get it in 2026. So Skyblivion is absolutely massive. It's nearly a third larger than Skyrim, with 9 distinct regions featuring unique biomes, flora, fauna. So most of the teams so far, right, as of the January update, like they sent out a YouTube video. It is actually not the video I gave Adam by mistake, so that is totally on me. You're watching last year's update video. So as I said before, right, like I don't remember this at all, so I'm gonna be relying on Adam and Antoine's account of this game. I have like a vague recollection of going into a sewer looking for something in Oblivion, and that is the only memory I have at the moment. So the cities had been reimagined to match the original concept art, with Anvil, Bruma, and Cloud Ruler Temple being standout examples. The Imperial City is currently undergoing a major overhaul to make it more majestic, I guess, like most Imperial cities should look like. Nearly all of Oblivion's 200 quests had been started or completed, with major quest lines like the Fighters Guild, 20 out of 21 quests done, Mages Guild, and the Dark Brotherhood, all 24 quests almost done. And it's not just a straight mod, right? They're adding 24 new music tracks, including region-specific themes, new dungeon tracks, and special boss fight music. The team is also expanding locations and improving on the game's original design. So I kind of wish they were doing a little bit more. I'll listen to the guys when they talk about this, but like when I've played older games that have been remastered, I kind of have a hard time dealing with older game mechanics. Like I played the original Shadow Warrior, which was an FPS game, and I'm like, oh my god, it's fun. The shooting part, the fighting part is good, but the way that the games worked back then, 15-20 years ago, is just like nope. Which is why like I've tried the BioShock remastered version as well. And oh, is that Adam's sound?
Background here, yeah. They're doing
okay.
construction next door again.
Oh, okay. No worries. Okay. Going back to what I was saying, because I literally forgot after I heard that. I was like, is that from me? No, it's not. So yeah, they are adding some new stuff. I wish they would sort of change the way the game mechanics work to make it a little bit more modern, but I guess they are limited in terms of the modding tools that are available, because they're using all these Skyrim modding tools to bring this into Skyrim. So if you're watching the video up to this point, so like this is not going to be like a very beautiful, absolutely 2025 modern game, but this is using the Skyrim engine, which with mods, right, is going to look really nice. It's going to look pretty. If you're watching the YouTube video, it doesn't look, it looks good, right? It doesn't look amazing, but it does look good. And we are getting some new stuff. So I think it's going to flesh out the game a little bit more, but it's not going to be like what is that Skyrim mod Enderal, right, which is like a really big addition of content to the game. This is just going to be Oblivion done in the Skyrim engine with maybe 10% extra if you had to throw a number on it. The most exciting part though, right, like if as of this point, right, they're still looking for people, right? So if you want to have some game experience or game modding experience or game working on a game experience, I don't know how to describe that, right? They are looking for anyone who has worked with AI, anyone who has worked with UI, anyone who's had experience with the Skyrim modding packages. They're still looking for people because, again, this is a community effort, even though lots of people, including myself, is like, yeah, you know, sell this, right? Like, if you go back to Fallout London, which was released, right, again, another free mod done with community effort. I mean, you were asked to donate if you could. I mean, I think, and I guess they can sell as well because this would be a legal thing. But yeah, no, this is definitely something I hope they're going to take some monetary donations or someone gives them a job or something like that. But yeah, this is supposed to come out this year. They said less than a year in January. So maybe we'll get this in Q3. I would say probably Q3 is the best time before the Christmas rush of amazing titles. After summer as well, when people go back to school in like the Northern Hemisphere. So we'll see how it goes. Follow them right on their website, follow them on socials as well. They have a huge YouTube channel, 285,000 subscribers, and you can watch a lot of the update videos that they do release. They have this guy who has a really cool voice who talks about the updates. Check those out. I don't know if I'm going to be playing this as usual, again, because I wanted to play Fallout London, and then I've realized after turning 42 last year that, yeah, I'll probably will never play a remaster ever again, just because there are too many new games, too much in the backlog now that I have a Steam Deck and I have a Switch, and I'm going to get a Switch 2 at some point, and I have a PC, and like there's just no time to play old games anymore. Anyway, for me. But for the questions for the guys, will you be playing a remaster of Oblivion when it does come out? Do you think remasters are going to hold your attention? Will it take a place in the gaming queue that we have? Let me know what you think.
I mean, for me, it's a pretty easy answer. I mean, what game was I playing before Synduality?
Freedom Wars Remaster.
Okay, so what do you think my answer is gonna be?
Even with all the new stuff coming to PlayStation this year, you're going to make time in your backlog?
If it's a game I enjoy, why not? Yeah, of course.
Antoine?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I would check first though, because as you said, you know, all the mechanics. I would check if they can fix the inventory, because if I recall, that's kind of the issue of Elder Scroll. All the inventory is very cumbersome and annoying. The menu system would need to be redone. Maybe the combat as well. Otherwise, yeah, definitely. Oblivion was fantastic. Do you remember the story, what it was? If you want, I can give you a little pitch of what Oblivion was. Okay, so
zero. Don't remember anything.
So Oblivion is in the province of Cyrodiil, which is the seat of the Empire, where the Empire family lives. But unfortunately, the Empire, this big idiot, and his 3 sons get killed. And this part I'm a bit fuzzy about, but I think they had some kind of pact with the divines. I don't know if it's a 𝙃𝙧 or something. And the fact that all his bloodline get killed all of a sudden creates these big dramatic portals opening to hell, literally, to the 𝙃𝙧 realm, a bit everywhere, so the gates of Oblivion. And half of the game is in Cyrodiil, very nice, you know, like your Skyrim, you go, you mind your business in the countryside, that's nice. Half of it is going inside the gate and closing them. And I know that some people didn't really like the hell realm, which is a shame because it's half the game, right? And yes, and your role is to find the bastard son of the emperor. So it's not pure bloodline, but it still helps, right? Martin and I think the blades, the bodyguard fighting with katana, a bit like Japanese inspiration. You have some blades in Skyrim, but the 2 or 3 guys remnant from Oblivion, which was like what 3, 4, 500 years before, right? So and it's very fun, and I'm not gonna spoil you the end because Martin does something super badass at the end, like very great ending just over the Imperial City. So yeah, no, very cool story, very fun game, and I will redo it. Just, like I still redo Skyrim, like, oh, I see these mods make it so cool. I'm gonna restart it. I've done it like 7 times already, but yeah. And even if they add 10% of the game, remember that it's a very long game. Think at least 60 hours, right? To finish the main quest and all the little wandering around. So yeah, that's long as I don't need to do more. Plus, I guess, does it include the DLCs? Or is it just the base game they are redoing?
It did mention in the latest update video. I would assume so. Adam, any final thoughts on Oblivion?
So,
I mean, I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. But yeah, I'm kind of this. For me, yeah, my thing with going back and playing some of these remasters is sometimes the controls need to be a little bit updated. For example, a lot of older games were, if you were playing on a console or something like that, this game didn't have this problem, but a lot of times they didn't have modern control schemes. Some of them didn't even have analog sticks. In some cases, I think it wasn't until there was some Alien game, which was the first game to put your looking on the right stick and then your movement on the left stick. Prior to that, your left stick was forward, backward, left, and right, and your right stick was strafing and looking up and down. So modern controls is definitely something that I always like. And yeah, sometimes the combat mechanic, going back, and now that we have more complex mechanics, you go back and you're like, oh, this is kind of simple. This is, so I will admit, sometimes older games can get a little bit boring in the mechanics department. That was one of my things with the 𝙃𝙧𝙦 games. It was kind of like, okay, this is kind of simple. This is not too intense. Just run around, hit attack, 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 attack. Okay, use a spell. Okay, attack, 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 attack. Okay, use a spell. Modern games that doesn't fly. But as terms of story and stuff like that, I mean, once I get into them, it takes a bit of adjustment time, but once I get back into them, once I'm like 5 hours in or so, it's not so bad. So looking forward to it. Yeah.
and last tidbit on Oblivion, Martin Septim being the bastard son of the Emperor you're supposed to get. Who was the voice actor for Dear Martin?
Is it
No
Patrick
idea.
Stewart? No, Patrick Stewart was the king, right?
Star Trek. I don't know, but okay. I give you a hint. I'm a very famous actor, and I tend to die a lot.
Oh, Sean Bean.
Exactly. Yeah, Sean Bean was Martin. Don't know if they have the budget to get him to voice actor again.
Yeah. Yeah, I also looked it up. I was wrong. The first Elder Scrolls was Elder Scrolls Arena. So
Oh, okay.
those are Elder Scrolls Arena, and then 2 years later you get Elder Scrolls Daggerfall, and then 6 years after that is Morrowind, and then 4 years after that is Oblivion, and then 5 years after that is Skyrim, and then 14 years after that is nothing. So just to give you kind of the scope of our lack of momentum here.
That is going to be a short right there. I know, the perfect graphic to as Adam was talking about the timeline. All right, Adam, run us off with your final story.
All right, so my final story is nothing too exciting, but PlayStation is getting sued in Holland by a Dutch company called the Dutch consumer group. I'm not going to know how to say this. 𝙂𝙢𝙢𝙢𝙦 and Consument. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't speak Dutch. But anyway, this law firm is suing Sony they're accusing them of overcharging their prices. They are saying that basically PlayStation has a monopoly on the market, at least on the PlayStation Store, and as such, by having that monopoly, they are able to ask for any price they want. And I'm sorry for what's going on in the background here, but the neighbors are doing construction. But they are able to charge any amount they want, and that amount is too high. And the evidence that they are using that is they are saying that Sony charges, on average, for digital games, 47% more than the physical version, which seems odd to me, because that is definitely not happening here in Taiwan. Is that happening in Canada, where the digital version is 47% more? No, it should be about the same price. Yeah, if you buy physical or digital here, they're the same price. Maybe physical even a little bit cheaper if it goes on sale in the store. But anyway, I'm sorry for construction. But anyway, they are saying that Sony is charging 47% more for the digital versions, despite having less costs and, you know, needing to keep inventory, needing to produce things, needing to do whatever. Thank God this video is not going to be the one that's going to be the regular video for the week. And anyway, they also say that part of this is because PlayStation does not allow you to buy keys from other digital stores. You either, you know, you can buy the PlayStation prepaid cards, but you can't buy the exact game key. If you go online, sometimes you will see game keys, but those are typically not, you know, normal distribution. That would be like something like maybe, you know, I kickstart 9 Souls, and because I kickstarted it, they're going to give me a key, and then, you know, maybe I buy the game anyway, and then I sell my key online. Or, you know, maybe you get 2 keys if you're an early adopter or something like that for certain things. So, you know, you can get a key from if the publisher or whatever, you know, gives keys out for whatever reason, but normal storefronts cannot carry those. So those are all resold keys, or yeah, secondhand keys. But anyway, they say because of this, PlayStation basically has too much power over the price of their games on their store. And so because of this, if you are a PlayStation user in the Netherlands, oh, did I say Holland earlier? Oh, I'm sorry, this is Netherlands. Never mind. If you are in the Netherlands, I apologize to anybody who I offended there. You can join as long as you've bought items or games within the last year. So if you've bought items, in-game items, you know, digital items or games within the last year, you can join this class action lawsuit. The hearing will take place at the end of 2025. It may be a while before we get any kind of ruling on it, if any. But anyway, I saw it and I was like, you know, I'll throw this out there. I shouldn't just only talk about the good stuff. Sometimes you need to talk about the bad stuff too, right? Try to be objective. So, so yeah, so that's the news there.
Yeah, I'm surprised about the key stuff because I was watching like Instant Gaming, and if you want to support the channel, buy your games through our link at Instant Gaming, guys. You can buy a PlayStation keys. So is that like resold or something like this? Or maybe you have an agreement with them?
Well, okay, so like I got a key for Monster Menu. I just bought a key for that, and it worked just fine. But yeah, so what it is like I guess normally somebody like maybe Xbox or Nintendo, I don't know if Nintendo does it or not, but like Xbox will go and they'll say like, okay, Amazon, if you want to sell digital keys, you can. We're just gonna give you a bunch of digital keys, and so people can buy digital keys on Amazon, and then they can go to the Xbox store, enter the code, and then they can, you know, get access to the game. So PlayStation basically just said, no, there are no digital keys. If you want to buy a game, it has to be bought directly through the PlayStation Store, or you can buy a physical version off of Amazon or a physical version off of wherever you want. There are keys available, but like I said, the way keys work is like, say, if I'm a tester or I'm kickstarting something, you know, if like for instance I have Radatan is what I'm kickstarting now. If they release the game, when you kickstart it, they say, okay, you know, because you funded the game, you get your copy of the game. Do you want it on Steam? Do you want it on Xbox? Do you want it on PlayStation? Do you want it on Nintendo? and then I say I want it on PlayStation. Well, they would need some way to allow me to have access to that game. And, you know, I suppose they could send me a physical version, but what they do is they say, okay, we're going to give you some. So in that case, you know, PlayStation says, all right, you know, you can give keys out to people and then they can, you know, use those keys to redeem the game. So what happens is, you know, sometimes maybe people have extra keys. Maybe it's somebody at the company that just has a bunch of keys, you know, they have a bunch of keys laying around that were never distributed, but somehow people get a hold of these keys and then they go online and, you know, like eBay or, you know, whatever, they go to G2A or whatever, and they say, hey, you know, I have a key for this game. This is how much I want for it. And then people can buy it and then they can get the key. So it's not officially endorsed by PlayStation. It's basically somebody who had a key reselling, you know, selling the key without using it themselves. But yeah, you can't get a key from, you know, PlayStation does not allow, say, Amazon to distribute keys normally. So it's kind of a, yeah, it's basically like it's imagine if you got a free copy of the game, a physical copy, and you're like, well, I have 2 copies of this game. I don't need my second copy. I'm just going to sell the second copy on eBay. It's like that. You know, I have 2 keys. I use 1 key. I get the game. I don't need the second key. I'll just sell it online. And that's where those keys come from. So. Yeah. Or you can give it to a friend like Krian did with Dishonored when they accidentally sent him 2 copies of the game and he gave me a second copy.
I don't remember that.
I do, because I played Dishonored and I didn't buy it because you were like, oh, they sent me 2 by accident. And I was like, okay.
Oh, cool. All right, then let's round up this week's final story with Antoine.
Okay, sorry, mate. Can you mute it because that's through a lot of noise. Apologies. Okay, I'm gonna do this one quick because I didn't really know what to talk about for my second story. And I look at, you know, the upcoming games, and I found one which I found pretty, you know, cool in the concept, right? It's called 𝙂𝙪𝙥𝙦 Nights. It's developed and published by Head Media Games. It's indie game, right? So it's kind of a taxi driving simulations with lots of guns on your taxi in a city which is very kind of night city vibe, right? And it's known as Prison City, in which you play, of course, a taxi driver, and the point of the game is to rescue your sister. So nothing too dramatic. So the best way I can describe the game really is if you put Death Race and Crazy Taxi together, and you kind of have the vibe. It's at least in the video, it's all at night, so kind of night city vibe again. It has a few things which you might or might not like. For instance, so I really in the video I saw, it really looked like arcade. You do whatever you want. It's pretty fun. But actually, it kind of have a simulator part of it. Simulator is a big word, right? It's kind of a simulation where you have to mind your battery level and your fuel level to have, you know, like high enough fuel to be able to complete your fare. You can manage things like on your dashboard, like your wipers and your headlights, things like this. I don't know how far they're gonna go. I don't imagine that you're gonna, you know, like fix your engine if you break it out, but we'll see. So that's kind of the feature. You're a taxi driver, so of course you're gonna have to bring people from point A to point B. But within these, sometimes, you know, they will have some side quest, literally, like additional activities for you to do, like you know, if they say oh my god, I forgot my keys over here, so before you drop me there, grab this or do that, or you know, so that's this kind of they call that unique fares, so literal side quest. You also have, that's gonna be fun, really, a gentle delivery system. So you have to deliver something fragile, and you are a big taxi with lots of guns and people shooting at you, and you are going very fast. So that must be quite fun and challenging. So I think for me, that's kind of one of the best parts of the game. Like a GTA, you can actually get out of your car. You're not stuck in it. It's not like in a Crazy Taxi where you're in a taxi 100% of the time. You have a map to uncover, you know, a bit like RPG-like. And that's it. You're in a taxi with lots of guns, and you go and smash all the enemies in front of you. Lots of thugs. I even saw in the video they show you just shooting other taxi just because they are the competition. It sounds very fun. You do have some. I think it's at service station. You can find a workbench to customize your car, add armor, add weapons, plenty of stuff. So that sounds very fun. It comes on early access on March 4th on Steam. There's a free demo available right now, which I really recommend for you not to play right now because it's absolutely unplayable. It's just far too bugged out, right? So we'll see if in March 4th, for me it's in 2 weeks for us at this time of the video at least. I don't know. I don't think they will have time to fix a lot of these bugs. So if you want to play it day one on early access, you might be very frustrated. So give it a bit of time. But in the concept, right, it sounds very fun. Of course, on the video you can see it's pretty ugly, you have to say. But again, that's an alpha or a beta. If it's early access, I guess it's more closer to a beta. But really, there's still a lot of work to be done. So just for the concept of it, that it sounds like something that you had a bad way at work, you want to play a taxi and shoot everything on the way, because you're supposed to be in, I don't know, let's take New York, you're supposed to be in Central Park and you are far away and you have 2 hours of traffic ahead of you. Take out your missiles and the Gatling and shoot the traffic ahead of you. That sounds like a fun way to navigate your traffic. Wishlist it. I think that's the best to do right now. Play it in 3-6 months. And yeah, honestly, that seems like to be a nice indie game to play later this year. So keep an eye on it. And yeah, that's a game that I selected for today.
Sounds cool. I wish I could use some of those rockets in Kaohsiung traffic where Adam and I live. Sometimes it's just terrible.
Yeah, I hear you.
To make up for, I need 2 more shorts from either of you. So as usual, I have a question for, okay, let's do, I think this will probably definitely work better for Antoine. So Antoine, which game has aged the best in your perspective? All right. And for Adam, which was the first game you broke 1,000 plus hours in? If you have, I'm sure you have, right? Or maybe you haven't.
A question for me are mods cheating, because which game has aged the best? That's Skyrim. It's easy with mods having a visual overhaul the whole time. Of course, it's the most modern old game on the market right now.
Okay, I'll take that as the answer.
That's the mods. Yes, the mods keeping it alive.
All right, Adam.
For the first game that I played over 1,000 hours on, if I had to guess, I would say Sims 2. I am not 100% sure, but that would be my guess of the first game that I broke 1,000 hours on. Might have been World of Warcraft, but I think it was Sims 2.
Okay, cool. I'll take that answer as well. All right. All right, that is it for us today. Apologies for the technical issues and the interruptions. This is what it is. When we record the show, sometimes things happen, especially in Taiwan. Construction sounds are all over the place. And you will see me turn my fan on probably in like 2 months or so, once the weather actually gets warm or hotter, but we'll see. That's it for us today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for leaving comments. Thank you for watching. And then we'll see you same time next week for more games, more news, and more technical difficulties, but hopefully not.
Waiting for those. Bye-bye.